Welcome to the Lifeline Podcast. I'm here with Pastor Tre and First Lady Kris. They're gonna introduce themselves, their church, and as we was just in here just now, his song was on the radio, y'all. It was on the radio.
Yeah,
What station was that?
that was Kirk Franklin's Praise, Sirius XM.
Sirius XM. Kirk Franklin's Praise, Sirius XM. What was the single?
Fresh Fire by Pastor Tre.
So tell us about the church. Tell us about the single. Tell us about yourselves. All of that.
All right, so I'm Pastor Tre. This is my wife, Lady Mcinnis, Lady Kris. I pastor a church in Allentown, Pennsylvania,
Sir.
called Full Effect Allentown Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
I just started pastoring almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
My second pastoral anniversary is coming up.
Let's go.
In
Let's
April,
go. Let's
actually,
go.
so-
Let's go. Clap it up for him. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So now y'all just got married, right?
Last year, May. Almost a year now.
Yeah.
So it's been almost a year. You got a song on the radio. Your second year anniversary. Pastoring a new church. How are you internalizing all of these wonderful things that's happening with you and your wife right now? Y'all got some other news, but I don't want to say it. I'm gonna let y'all say it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to let the cat out the bag. Some people out there don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Well, it's just been the last 2 years of my life have been a crazy, wild roller coaster.
right.
One day I was just, I was leading praise and worship in Pennsylvania. I was in charge of the music and all that. And then during one of our services, like at the height of the pandemic, while we were doing that, my father just said, "Hey, the Lord said it's time." I'm like, "Time for what?"
So just like that, you was leading praise and worship, and then he just said it's time.
Yeah, I mean, I was always preaching, but
Right.
I love to preach. And he always told me he was grooming me to pastor. Eventually, I would do that.
Right.
I still wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but the Lord told him that day. He said, "Now is the time." And that transition happened.
Right.
Installation happened, all that stuff. And in the middle of that, I'm with this great girl. We we're building stuff, and so now we planning a wedding. And then that planning a wedding
How
was
was
the
that
most,
for you? You now I don't know. Did you sign up for being a first lady at this time? Did this happen before y'all got engaged and started talking?
Yeah, he was already pastoring like for a few months.
Okay.
But when I met him, he was about to be installed.
All right, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's back up. How did y'all meet? Where did y'all meet? How the story go?
We have two
Because
different
it's always
versions.
I was about to say, there's always two
let me
different
just,
versions.
Can I speak the truth?
Go ahead.
If
So
I
you
can
say
go
the
first.
truth, and then you tell your truth.
There's a songwriter that says something that it goes down in the DM. And all I know is it went down in the DM. I didn't send
My
the
God.
DM, and
My
I would
God.
like to.
No, that's not what happened.
I just want to say that if a person sends a reaction to your story, that means it's a DM, right? It's
I don't know.
It's
How y'all
The only
feel
way
out
I'm
there?
notified of you and my story.
That's iffy.
I really,
Okay.
I'm
That's
glad.
iffy.
If you never met someone and they respond to your story, they don't know you, but they respond to your story and they put a fire emoji, where is this? Oh, it was a question.
All right, but who sent the friend request first? Because how did he get
She
your
won't tell-
story?
that's
Whoa.
How did he get to the
Here-
story? That's the
Okay.
thing about it.
That is what I was getting ready to say. She's
Okay.
giving a major chunk out of
Right. So
Maybe
let's get down to it.
On Instagram.
Here we
Okay.
go.
She followed me first.
Wow.
I didn't even
She
know
liked
him.
my photos and videos.
Trey, you
She
gotta
commented
stop.
on my stuff. And don't get up paying live.
I'm not gonna get up here and lie.
I wasn't
not-
expecting this.
Don't get
My
me
bad,
wrong.
y'all. I wasn't expecting. I ain't trying to start no trouble. I
No,
promise
no, no,
I'm not.
It's not.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
more a
It's not-
preacher
no, no,
for
no.
our youth conference. That's all. So I
See how? Let me
All right,
let
so
me
wait
get
a
my
minute. So
let me
all
get my
right, so
side
let me let her finish because I know you got a lot. I know you got a lot to say. But go ahead. How did it happen?
So, my god sister, Tiffany, she lives in Atlanta.
Shout out to Tiff.
Shout out.
Because
Tiffany.
literally, shout out
She
to her.
helped us plan our wedding too.
She
Lifesaver.
literally said, she lives in Georgia. She's like, do you know this person? And she sent me his profile.
Okay.
She said, this man is anointed. And I said, well, I don't know him, but okay, let me go see.
Right.
And she sent me him preaching it was a 7 Last Sayings, and he preached all-purpose all-purpose cleaner. Yes. And I...
Yeah, that was fire, by the way.
Oh,
that was...
Thank you.
That was...
Thank you,
yeah.
That was at Bishop Shaw Church, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Yes, it
like-
That one was a good one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And so,
I appreciate
real
you,
talk, when I heard, I was like, oh no, he really can go.
Right,
And I
right,
said,
right.
Oh, he's cute. I said, so now let me follow because I like the
Oh, so you
video
say
first.
he's chief? You brush real past. Oh, he's cute.
Because it was
He's cute. You see how I go up a little bit?
You hear how it was? I was looking
Right.
for a preacher for our youth.
Right,
conference.
right,
I
right.
was.
Okay,
We were planning convocation.
If she
at the
was
time.
looking for a
Okay.
preacher for her youth
I ain't
conference
mean to cut
conversation-
you off, but go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Finish. Go
So
ahead.
that is how I ended up following him. But I literally, when I heard him, I was like, no, he really has revelation. And if nothing else, I was so impressed just by his delivery. And I tell him that even when we disagree and everything, I could never take away from the fact that my husband is anointed and that he is a preacher's preacher.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just really was just like, woo. And then I said, and he's cute.
And
Like,
he's
I was
cute.
like, oh, okay. So then I
And the
followed
boy
him.
looked good. That's what you said he said.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And I followed him. So and then he DM'd me.
Okay.
So that's okay.
So now your truth, Pastor Tre.
Did all of this? He's so anointed. He's so.
Oh, you gotta stop,
First of all,
Tre.
let me actually let me tell you this, Dante.
This is the
She's
stuff.
looking for a preacher for you. She went to Pilgrim Church.
Okay.
One of the great. No. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Great church, great organization. I've never been there.
Right.
They
Okay.
didn't call me yet.
They never called you.
I'm not saying there's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a problem with Pilgrim. We
put
love
me out
Pilgrim.
before I could
God
even
bless
get
Pilgrim,
him.
but I'm
Yeah,
not saying
God bless
that.
Pilgrim.
It's
I'm
not a problem.
I'm not saying there's a problem. I'm
Right.
just saying if she was really looking for what she
Right.
thought she was looking for, then maybe I would have been there.
Right.
But she wasn't looking for no
Right,
preacher.
right. She
She was looking for this preacher, but she wasn't looking for.
Yo.
Well, my God.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I just don't want.
Yo,
Right.
you're tripping.
So
I'm not
basically,
tripping.
you put up a story.
I put up a
Here's
story.
She put up a story.
Here's what
You reacted.
I said, you know what?
No. That's not how
She
it
showed
started.
me the screenshots
No.
the other day,
Wait,
and
wait,
he keeps them.
No, wait.
Because every time we have this conversation with people, she goes back.
She goes to
them.
the screenshot.
And
I
then
have
she
to.
She forgets what they actually say.
No,
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
say anything. I sent a fire emoji.
Yes.
Right?
Where is this at?
Go to it.
Oh, we about to pull it up on the lifeline.
You really-
The
While
receipts.
she's pulling
The
up the
receipts.
receipts,
You really.
while we
I
getting
really-
the receipts,
I really would do that.
It's amazing that even just from that DM or just that small, that little small moment that it would lead to now. Like
That's really
what's
crazy.
amazing.
That's the major part. That's the major part.
and
Yeah.
it's great. You mentioned your dad and your grandfather. True story. The first time I ever preached out at another church was at your father's church.
Wow.
He was the first one that ever gave me. So shout out to Bishop Mcinnis. I appreciate you. Thank you. He was the first one. And you know who the second one was? Your grandfather.
That's amazing.
Your father and your grandfather were the first 2 times I ever, and I wasn't even good. So it's like,
so amazing.
how did I even end up here? But they gave me an opportunity. And he didn't even know me from a hole in the wall, but he showed up at my birthday service with this big black fur coat. And I didn't know, because, I'm.
This is.
So I was, I'm saved, but I played the streets a little bit. So when he came through the door, I'm like, oh man, the past done caught up with me, because he got the black fur coat, and then he took off his hood, and I'm like, oh, I never had a problem with that guy. So we good. But he was there because Elder Randy Hurd, shout out to him, he was preaching for my service. So he after the service, he put out a wad of money, slid 100 in my hand. So I appreciate you. But yeah, your dad and your grandfather were the first 2 that really. And speaking of that, is any pressure? Walking in those footsteps of such 2 great giants in the kingdom.
There is there's so much pressure from
Right.
A whole bunch of different sides. I don't feel it as much now.
Okay.
Because I've been preaching since I was like 14.
Okay.
And so now I'm in a place where I'm used to preaching. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm.
But after a certain time, it becomes second nature.
Yeah. You become, you do something for a long time.
Right.
It becomes,
You put your 1,000 hours in.
Yeah,
That's
you put it in. So you put the time. So as far as the preaching aspect, my father's always encouraging me to be myself.
Right.
I don't have to live up to anybody's expectations. I'm cool with him. My father, when I was growing up preaching, he he didn't always compliment me on my preaching. Like I would preach, right? And then he'd be like, okay, there's a paper under the pew over there. I need you to come pick that up.
So he was just waiting for the like the good job.
Yeah, broom, dustpan, all that stuff. It wasn't until I became an adult that he started saying, good preaching, son. Because now
you can handle it without getting a big head.
And I think that was his way of holding me from some of the pressure. Like before, like he didn't start letting me go out until I was 16, 17.
Wow.
So he kind of held me close. And my grandfather, the same thing. I remember one of my first big assignments was preaching for my mother's appreciation service. I was 14, and my grandfather was on the side on the pulpit. And my grandpa, he's not a man of many words. He's not a man of but I looked back at the picture someone took, and he was just smiling so hard. He was smiling, man. And then they invited me to preach at his church. You know, I'm like, so I know that they are proud of me.
Right.
So as long as I know they're proud, pressure from
anyone else, it don't even matter.
It don't really matter.
Because it's really all noise at the same time. And then I'm gonna ask your lovely wife the same question. Like right now, you're the first lady. Let's be honest. In church culture, primarily black church culture, a lot of women, they want the pastor, they want the preacher, they want that seat, they want that adulation, they want the pictures, they want first lady this and first lady, they want that, right? And so have you ever had to deal with any pressure with being the first lady or being this preacher's wife or fiance or whatever? Did you have to deal with any of that pressure at that time?
Yes and no. I think it's still very new to me.
Okay.
And I try not to allow the expectation of what people think you should do to overshadow me. I have had, great first ladies in my life that were great examples. And I think that's just the leading of the Lord to have shown me what it looks like in different ways. Because I truly believe in being true to yourself.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, being a first lady is not an office. It's not something that someone assigns you to. You marry a man, and if he is called by the Lord to lead a ministry, this comes with that man. So I think that it is something that only God can do. And I know God knows who to put where.
That's true.
And so just with my mother-in-law truly is a great example because one thing you can see about her, she's always going to be herself. And so I appreciate that from her because that allows me to be myself.
To do that,
And my husband always says, you're just like my mother. You just, you say, I don't always say what he probably would like me to say, but that's just
you don't compromise.
Yeah, and that's just who I am. But I do believe that I try to represent God the best way I know how, and my spouse. You know what I mean? So people gonna be people.
Y'all right now, y'all a year in, right? A year or two in.
It's like 9
into our marriage.
Into your marriage.
It's like 9, 10 months.
Yeah, 9-10 months.
Our anniversary is in May, so it's almost April.
March now. April, May.
So
10 months.
You were from Georgia.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Georgia and Brooklyn, two different worlds.
Yeah.
Two different, way too different upbringings.
Way
right?
different.
Way different. How was it colliding these two worlds to make the Mcinnises work today? Because I know 9 months in, it's just way different. Because leaving ain't nothing like staying, or visiting ain't nothing like staying here. Visiting ain't nothing like staying.
Yeah.
Facts.
Y'all could go and have a good time and all of that, but y'all don't gotta go home to one another. Now you gotta go home to one another.
Yeah.
So how has that dynamic been with the Georgia Peach dealing with the Brooklyn guy?
The best.
Hold on.
That's like Ludacris and Biggie Smalls.
The first thing that got me, it's funny the way she talks because she's from Georgia.
Oh,
she kind of got southern. Like I say, like
Here we go.
I'd be like, hey babe, you want to go to the movie? She's like, yeah, let's go to the theater.
I say.
Go ahead, say theater.
We went to see Creed at the theater.
The theater all the time. That's
like,
how she says it.
Right.
It was the other thing I say. They all tease me about that. What is that? Oh, I say, I'm just so full in the Lord. If I say full, Ricky.
She got that old.
You got the old soul, right? The southern
But
band.
you know what?
Right.
And I talk to everyone.
Okay.
See y'all up here, and now I'm part of up here.
Right, y'all. See how
Anybody, anybody that speaks to everybody, that's like, oh, what they want.
flag.
What's wrong with them?
Especially in New York.
And for me, I'm like, well, how are we Christians and we don't say hello? That is just, hello, how you doing?
That's not a point.
And so when I came, people, up here like, oh, she's so, so friendly, right? So, and he always says, why you gotta say bye to everybody? I said, because that's how I was raised. And it's not to say that someone was raised wrong, but that is the culture of where I'm from in the South. We'll be out, and I'll be like, oh, I like your shoes. He goes, you didn't have to tell a lady you like the shoes. She's gonna think you're gonna rob her for shoes. Like,
Cause sometimes we out and like if we in New York, she'll have a whole conversation with a stranger. But I can tell that person from New York if they like.
Right.
Okay, but she can't tell.
Yeah, he's like, she's looking at you like, shut up.
You know the energy. Like if a guy be like, yo, I like those shoes.
Like,
What you mean? Like
what?
My size.
Right, exactly. That's how it goes. But how was it like y'all, bringing these two worlds together, especially you pastoring the church too?
Oh yeah.
So how was that dynamic? Because I know, in the South they have a certain way how they like the church, and then in New York church it's just two different things. So how has it been colliding those two worlds? And enjoying the successes that you are?
I think ministry-wise, because I was here for like the last 5 years, 4 years, as he says, I've kind of gotten a whiff of the New York flow. But my parents are from New York, so New York is not foreign to me. I think it's more so just like me being raised down south, and like I said, the speaking to people.
Right.
But it's also helping him because I'm extrovert, and my husband is more introverted. He's introverted than / extroverted. Like if he like you, he's extroverted. Right. I think if he trusts you.
That's good because he was here. We was talking. So that means he trusts me. So that's good.
Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, you good? When I'm over here talking about photo shoots, and I said, wait, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm good. And but I know
I like these people.
I like that's his thing. I didn't want to say that on camera, but that's what he said.
I like these people.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what's up.
And I can tell when he does it.
Right.
And
He's
I'm
a little
like,
more reserved.
Why? So, learning to submit to his way of things and just create our own way, I think that's the thing, because he comes from a very strong male. The men in his family are leaders.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they're very strong with the legacy of his father. My husband follows his father to the T. Even when he thinks he's not following that, but you can't help but do that. Right. Just like I follow my father and my mom and how we were raised. So, of course, things are not going to always go my way.
So real quick, not to cut you off, you said a key word that a lot of women have it. Some women have an issue with, and that's submission. In the marriage, what does that look like? What does submission look like?
Get a prayer life.
Okay.
No, real talk. And we only like 9 months. I'm gonna ask
Trey too, right? Like, what does submission look like to you too? So I'm gonna start with your wife. What does submission look like to you?
It's hard, right? And when you for me, I was single and I was living on my own. And when you've been used to being your own, my husband, you are your own boss. Not that he's my boss, but I didn't have to run.
You didn't have to answer to nobody.
Yeah, it was kind of like I'm going so and so,
Right.
and now I have to learn to say, what do you think about? How do you feel? Because if he says I don't think that's okay, if I go do it, I gotta come back and deal with the fight or or attitude or however it happens, and. Only prayer is helping us and helping me. I just told him this week, I went on a challenge to where I don't nag. I sent him compliments 2 and 3 times this week. Did I not?
She's been doing that.
And I did it.
I didn't realize that's what you were doing.
Yeah, well, I'm telling on myself now because it challenged me that if I am constantly complaining about what you're doing rather than highlighting the positive of what you do. Anytime I'm trying to submit to you, it's going to frustrate me because all I can think about is how much I feel whatever I'm feeling. And so for me, submission is learning how to truly submit to the plan of God for my life. And if you are part of God's plan, if I'm submitted to his plan, it will become easier.
Right.
But it is it's a process.
And for you, How is it?
hope
How
I answered
has
that.
it looked like submission? Like, is that something?
Follow me. No, I'm just playing.
That's what it is. For
no,
real?
no.
Now,
Just-
some men really do feel like that. Like,
But it's
you
not
got to
like
do
that,
exactly what I
It's
say
not.
when I say to do it.
It's not like that though. I've come to understand that submission is not just for the wife; it's for the husband as well.
Okay.
The Bible says that you should submit yourselves to one another.
One
Yeah.
another. That's true. That's what the word says.
Now, as the man, as the head of the household, I know I have the final say on things, but it doesn't mean that her opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that her feelings don't matter, and it doesn't mean that I don't listen to her with whatever she has to say. Are we gonna agree all the time? No.
Right. It's two different personalities.
But I have to submit to how she may see a thing, because there's times when she sees something away, I don't agree with it, but I could be wrong.
Right. That's true.
I won't see that I'm wrong unless I submit to the way that she sees.
For sure.
So
I got you.
if she sees something I don't see, if I don't listen to her, I'm gonna embarrass both of us.
Right.
Because that's the danger of not submitting to your spouse. It doesn't necessarily mean to listen to everything they say or one person is in charge. It just means that, hey, I consider you, you consider me.
Right.
One of us is the leader, but both of us have to submit.
Right.
That's
We
how
both
I see
submit,
it.
but you really know who's in charge.
That's basically what you're saying, right?
You know who really is in charge.
Yeah, somebody has to be in charge. Somebody has to be in charge, and that's not a lot of women they don't want to like that terminology is scary.
Right.
In charge, or, you ain't. I don't need a father.
Right.
I don't need a father.
Right. That's what they say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be your father.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you leave. What you do is you leave the leadership of your father and come under the leadership of a man. That's why the father gives the woman away.
There you go.
Because I'm not trying to be your father.
Right.
But at the same time, there is an authority that's here with my voice.
Correct.
It doesn't mean I run you. It doesn't mean you my slave.
Right.
It means it's my job to protect
you, for sure.
It means I care about you so much that I'm willing to lay down my life for you. I'm willing to drop everything for you, forsaking mother and father. That's submission.
You see how she's looking at you when you talking? She like, baby.
No. Because it's
keep talking. Go ahead. Go on.
because when you say it like that, and I think when we look at culture, years ago, people were 18, getting married at 18, 21.
Right,
they were
that's true.
leaving their
That's
parents'
true.
home
Very
straight
young.
to marriage.
Yeah, very young, yeah.
Now you have people that don't get married immediately. Do you have women with careers who are taking care of themselves,
That's true.
living on their own? So not that their fathers are absent, but now I'm a grown woman. I've been left daddy's house. So now I'm having to adjust to, again, a male caring for me and trusting them.
Yep.
And that transition is not that I'm such a super strong woman. I just have to now adapt to, I've been my own boss. And that for the first maybe, and probably sometimes now, it was just, I'm like, I have not had to,
Right.
I tell them all the time,
Doing your
like,
own
I
thing.
was moving. And I'm still moving, but I'm moving with him.
With them together.
And that is an adjustment when the two become one. And so that is a constant molding. But I think, like I said, it's because culture has changed. Women and men are not getting married right out of high school
Right, not anymore.
or right out of
Nope.
college.
Nope.
They going to college, getting bomb careers.
Yeah.
5 years later, okay, I think I want to marry
Right.
or I want to date, you know?
You've already developed ideologies and your personality's already been shaped and molded a certain way. So it's really hard for you to acquiesce to another individual. And it's like, I really don't need you. Like, I have my own money, I have this, I have that, I have this going on. I don't need this extra additional stress. And I think that's what's problematic in our culture. Even the church as well. You know what I'm saying? Even the church as well. But how did you guys know that the next one was the one, like they say? Because there's a lot of people that's dating. I've dated in the church before. And
Me too.
I thought that that person would probably be the one and end up not. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because sometimes we date for the wrong reasons. Because that person looks good for ministry, or we've been together for an extended period of time, so we should just get married. And no, it's not the case.
Yeah.
So how did you know that she was the one, and how did you know that he was the one? And were there any outside voices saying, no, Chris, don't do it? Or was it Tre?
You go
"Don't do
first."
it"?
You know what's crazy? There were no outside voices
No outside
Facts.
telling me not to do it. I never even thought about that too just now. Like no outside voices that mattered. If there were outside voices, I didn't hear.
You didn't know, you didn't hear. Cool.
So for me, like I knew I was going to marry her because.
At what point? How many months in did you know?
Not even a month. I knew by the time I met her, off rip.
It's my favorite story.
Child, go ahead.
I'm not even like exaggerating. And I've told her this plenty of times. I said, I knew I wanted to marry her.
Right.
I was praying for a wife, looking for a wife. I was in that state already.
Your mom was ready then.
Yeah. So by the time I reached a certain age, I knew that I was ready to get married. I knew I wanted to get married. And I dated girls before her. And I was like, I dated with the mindset of marriage. But at a certain point, you realize, this is not.
This ain't gonna work. Yeah.
The main thing that made me know that I was going to marry her was that the Lord showed me, period, that she was the best for my purpose.
That's good.
For my purpose, for my future. And of course I was attracted to her. She's beautiful. All that stuff. But her being beautiful meant nothing to me at that time. Because there's plenty of beautiful people out there.
Right.
I'm like, I need purpose. I can be attracted to you. All I want,
all you want
is a bunch of attractive people out there. But if you don't fit where my life is going, if I don't think you're going to be a good mother to my children, if I don't think you can help me in ministry and help.
Fellas, listen up. You got to listen up to what he's saying.
And help, just help push the purpose that's on my life. Because I've known what I was gonna do for a long time. Yeah, that's rare for my age. Right. But I know where I'm going. Like I know I'm working on the music. I got the preaching thing. I got stuff. I got business ideas and different things like that. I need someone that's gonna help complement that and that thinks like that. Nobody I've ever been with before. I can go to her and say, hey, I need you to write a letter for this and that. I need you to draft this up. I need you to just do stuff. She knows how to do a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know how to do.
That's super dope. Super dope.
And I think I strengthen her in her weak areas as well. And it works together, so it fits so well. Like when she first came into the church, after we got married, it wasn't. To me, it wasn't like a learning curve or anything like that.
It's like fit like a glove.
It was like it just fit, like that's how it was supposed to be. So yeah, it was definitely purpose overall.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. Sis.
So I knew we went on our first date. First of all, after the DM, which I did fine, and Tre sent the fire emoji. That's all I'm.
This is over. We gonna get the receipts for this.
I got this.
We're gonna get the receipts for this.
When we spoke on the phone, we stayed on the phone like all night. And you know how you like, heck, I gotta talk to him, I didn't get bored, whatever. I had to go to work the next morning. And then when we went out on our first date, he had come up from Pennsylvania and he took me out. When he went back to PA, God said, don't play with him. And I was like, okay. Now, you know how you hear something, and I was like, don't play with him. And the Lord said, don't play with him. Wow. I didn't text nobody else back. I went ghost on wherever I was on, and I just went ghost.
That's dope. Because
there was no need for me to, let me try you out, but I'm going to text, and still date, because that's what you do when you date, and you don't. It was so clear. And what people don't know is on our second date, I had to meet my pastor that day for something. And I told her, I was like, I'll meet you later or come pick me up from here. But my pastor, no, let him come. And I said, oh,
who was your pastor, by the way?
At that time, Bishop Deborah Crow.
Okay,
I went to Brooklyn Church. And she said, no, tell him to come. And I said, oh, God. And I text him. I said, she wants you to come in, don't mind anything that happens. Just, because you know how you know your pastor,
Right.
And while we were at the table, my pastor texted me and said, this is your husband. Go with God. And I said...
Look at God.
Whoa, wow, that's powerful.
And if you know her, you know that she does not give her stamp of approval easily on anything. And she said, stop texting at the table, talk to him. I said, you're texting me. I don't know what you want me to do. And it was just confirmation because I believe that God, if God gives you something, he confirms that which he gives you. And it was just perfect. And people look at us like, well, we started dating in July. We were engaged by November. We got married in May.
Wow.
How? Because when it's God, it don't take God a long time. And my whole life, our lives have literally changed in a matter of 365 days.
Yeah.
And as a man, when you know, you know.
Yeah. No disrespect to y'all, but
No disrespect.
after the 5 or 6, 7 years,
Don't let that man waste your time.
He's not really.
Don't let that man waste your time.
Yeah, he's really just trying to stay with you until something else better comes by. No disrespect.
Yeah.
You know, because on Facebook we got friends and people that are in relationships for 5, 6, 7 years and still don't have a ring. So we're not throwing shade at you. We're just trying to give you some advice. That's what occurs.
I know, I know that because I've lived that, seen
right,
that.
Right.
It's like, you keep.
Make it plain. Just say it. Man.
You keep few people around.
Right.
Just in case. Like you got a few just in cases.
Right,
you got a few when you're bored. You got a few.
Wow.
Man.
That's.
Dang, if you used to talk to Pastor Tre, he don't mean it that way.
No.
It didn't come out. It just came out wrong, but it don't mean that way. He's just saying that. As his
not if you used to talk to Pastor Tre.
grows and everything.
No. I mean, if they used to talk to me, they're probably not watching this anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wow. But
you see me just scroll.
But men are intentional. That's real. Men are intentional.
We are intentional.
He lives in Pennsylvania. I was living in New York. He came to New York every weekend to come see me. He would drive up on Saturday morning. We would date all day Saturday. He would head back home to be in his pulpit on
Sunday.
Yeah, he would get home like 1 in the morning because he'd leave at like 10. He'd get home at 1, preach Sunday morning.
See you again.
Back on the road at 4 p.m. to come back
out.
just to be at work on Monday. I never had to beg. My friends knew when I started, they said we have to hang out with Christian Monday through Friday because Saturday, Sunday is Tre Day. That's just what it was. And he was intentional about letting me know he was serious about me.
So not to cut you off, 2 parts. First part is, how did you handle those breakups? Like, how did you handle breakups healthy? Like a healthy breakup. And then the second part of the question is, you said your friends understood because a dynamic of a relationship that people don't really pay attention to is the people that's like your friends on the outside. So they understood that, okay, the weekends is for Tre. No one was like, oh, come on, you always with him, or you always spending time with him. Like, what about us? You forget about your friends. And that can plant a seed in your mind and make you look at things differently. So how did you, the breakup part, right? You said you left everybody cold turkey. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's Tre all day. But then for you, was it the same thing? Like, it's Chris all day, forget y'all, lose my number, I'm blocking y'all.
No, absolutely. I mean, like I said.
Nah, absolutely.
That's really him.
Not for real. Honestly, and a lot of people know this about. I'm very honest. Sometimes I'm like
brutally honest.
But I'm gonna say, like, if I say you some boredom, I've said that to the actual people, and it's no hard feelings. It's just like, yo, I see what this is now. You see what this is now, and I don't think I've had like a bad breakup and nothing like that. But it's just like, hey, I gotta move to where I know that I need to go. Right. And at the end of the day, if I decided that this is the woman I'm gonna be with, I don't care about your feelings.
Right. That's true.
I don't care about your feelings if it's gonna mess with her feelings. I'd rather you feel bad and hit me than she feel bad.
That's the way it has to be.
So I was that, but that's how I was from day one. I'm like, yo, that's it. It's you. And I've been like that ever since. I'm not going nowhere. Right. Not leaving you nowhere. You know, we may have a fight, we may have an argument, but I'm not going anywhere.
Right. We in this for the long haul.
That's what I believe. So with the breakups and all that stuff, it's like,
because like I said before, like the previous podcast that I had on, because there's really no blueprint of how to handle a church breakup, quote unquote, because we handle it like the world. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? But how do we still show the love of Christ? How do we still be our brothers and sisters keeper? Yeah. And that's a very difficult waters to navigate, because it's like, okay, we break up, but then I still have to either minister at your church, or so it's like, how do you navigate? It's like, I used to talk to him, I hate that, such and such and such. Like I'm saying, he up there preaching, he ain't even, so it's like, it's all of that you got to deal with. Right? I don't like hear that. You got to say he ain't real anyway.
But
that's how people do.
That's one of the downfalls of like growing up in church, because it's like, yo, everybody sees your development.
Right. Your
Like
trajectory, and they see all that.
When you start, especially in public ministry, as young as I did, everybody sees you grow up.
Right.
Everybody sees your mistakes. So you may date in the church, and then y'all break up. You just gotta Nothing stops because you're hurt. Nothing stops because they're hurt. It don't stop nothing. I still got to do what I have to do. What I've learned is really, my mother says time is your greatest ally.
Nice.
If you be silent and you spend that time with God, in time, it won't even matter to you anymore.
Yeah.
It takes some time, but it'll happen.
So what about the friends part?
So with my friends, I believe that my friends knew that Tre was different, because when you have the right friends around you, they want the best for you.
True.
And so if all of us desire to get married one day or have someone, you've been with me through my singleness. Don't try to
Don't try
get
to keep
jelly.
Me
Don't
try to keep me in.
And honestly, none of my friends, I just made it very plain, Monday through, and they all knew. Now their thing was, can we go out with him? But because our distance, the only 2 days you want to be together.
Right.
So I had like one thing where he came.
They wanted a group date, like
they wanted to hang out. They wanted to get to know him.
Oh,
they wanted to interrogate me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to interrogate.
My wife, I'm like, nah, you good.
He
going out with
he
3 of your
never-
friends.
He didn't go out with my
Right.
He came to like the end of the dinner, and it was time to go when he got there. But that truly is because when you have long distance, our time was limited.
Right.
But my friends understood. I just talked to them on the phone in the morning. Sometimes I'm going to work. I had to schedule around that because we had to build our bond. And so now that we're married, when the game comes on, if I don't feel like watching the game and I know he's down there doing his thing, I get on the phone and talk to my friend. Like, you make those adjustments.
Right.
But like you said, it's about real friends want the best for you.
Yeah.
And they will not create a hindrance to what is positive.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And when you get in relationships and marriage, you notice, I'm sure, dynamics change.
All the time.
I can't tell my friends when I argue with my husband. That's just the bottom line because a single person or a person that's not married may give you a little different advice than someone who understands. I don't get
why people go to single friends.
You can't go
for marital advice.
Not people that don't understand covenant.
Especially the people that don't, like, they have never had a successful relationship.
Yeah, you can really can't.
Why are you giving advice to me?
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. My father always told me, he said, don't ever tell people, especially people you can't really trust or people that don't understand. Don't tell people when you're having issues.
Yeah.
Because you will forgive your spouse and then they won't.
Yep.
And then when you go out, they'll be looking at you funny and all this stuff.
Yep.
When you already got over the argument.
Exactly. It's over. That's why on social media, everything good. Me and my wife could just been squaring up with one another. But you ain't never gonna
gonna see that.
None of my business. You never gonna see nothing negative about my wife. I told the story before about my wife getting on my nerve and she was ironing her clothes, ran out of spray starch. And I'm like, happy. You know what I'm saying?
I was
But
throwing
God
up
told
the other
me,
day, and
he was like, yo, you got a responsibility.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you mad or not right now. That's still your wife. You still got a responsibility to her. So I went to the store, got that spray starch and her candy, and God was like, no, that's still your responsibility. It don't matter what y'all go through. You got a responsibility to that woman.
Yeah.
So everybody else, y'all not gonna know nothing going on in my house. Everything is peachy keen. Everything is fine.
That's real.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your
And people who understand covenant won't. You just can't talk to people who don't understand covenant. Because the reality is, when you marry, you get up and you want to walk out the door of that room. You don't get to leave the house and not come back. It's not over. You get to go upstairs. I'll meet you in bed. Okay, love you too. And let's wake up tomorrow and try it again. Whatever works for your home, but you have to. My mother-in-law always says, you RSVP for the fight. So show up for the fight. Because I was going to be like, I don't have to take this. You do have to take this. What do you mean you don't have to take this?
You actually
take
do.
it. Go take it right upstairs.
You do, right?
And I'll be with you when
you can't run from it.
You can't.
And that's the beauty of it. Like, you could love somebody, go toe to toe with them, then walking around like, you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
That's my husband.
Want something to eat?
Did you eat?
Yeah, you ate something? Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you still gotta,
It should be.
come on.
That's real. No, because he laughs, Dante, because when I'm mad, I'm super independent. I open my own door when I'm mad. I pay for my own food when I'm mad.
You know what she used to do? You know what she used to do? If we were at a table and she was mad at me, now I pay for all the food. Right. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. Now we would be sitting at a table. She order all this food. Second she get mad at me. I'll send you the money for my food.
Right.
I'm like.
But I don't understand like how that hurts him. Like,
that's what I used to.
When I realized he was liking it, I was like, "Yo, you tripping?"
I used to say, "No, you don't have to do that. I'm gonna make sure I feed you. You know what I'm here." Now she do that. I'd be like, "All right, my cash app is such and such. Just send
the money."
As a matter of fact, I could give you my bill. You want to be independent?
How that hurts him? Like, if you think that hurts him in some way, cool. But it really doesn't.
She'll open her own door.
I figured it out.
It's cold outside. I could just.
That's funny.
That was me and Ariel is in this room. We call it a silent protest.
Silent protest?
You know, like when I'm mad at my husband, I change.
He like, it's gonna make no sense.
I change ringtones when I'm upset.
Oh really? You change the wallpaper. You want to
I heard her phone the other day.
I changed because it's a silent protest.
Y'all women.
Okay.
Don't even worry. Y'all women is petty.
Only I know I'm mad.
Oh my God.
The world don't know. I just know.
That's crazy.
Y'all are petty. She said I changed the name in the wallpaper.
Her phone was ringing the other day, and it was
take. I can't make you love me.
Make you love me. I said, what is this? What happened to the Bow Wow song? I ain't never had nobody show me all this. What happened to like you?
He said, who's calling you? I said, you were calling me.
I said, what is this? What is going on?
It was a silent protest. Because I couldn't leave. I can't leave. I gotta just be mad. And
you know what's so funny? It's so funny. Like people see us, right? Mm-hmm. Like we in ministry, we bosses on jobs, but they don't understand how petty we can be with one another in a relationship, which is so funny.
I'm telling you,
that is petty.
Yeah.
Hey man, we real people.
But that's the thing about it, and that's the reason why we do these podcasts, so people can see that we're actually real people behind the collars, behind the suits, behind what you see on Facebook or YouTube, whatever it may be. We're real people, and we deal with real life issues and real life problems that maybe perhaps the church setting may not be the proper place for us to show you, our humanity. So, we do things like this to show people we have a relationship and we have marriages that sometimes there are issues and problems. Sometimes we're petty in our relationships, but we still love one another.
Absolutely.
We still love God. Christ is still the center of everything.
Absolutely.
And we're still focused on pleasing and honoring Him, but we still have life issues that we're dealing with. And it's amazing that in a short amount of time, you guys have done, we got to wrap it up real soon, but you guys have done some amazing things in your lives. I want to congratulate you on your ministry, on your marriage, on everything that's going on for you. I want you to make sure that you also add the church address and the time that you're having services. Make sure you get that plug in for the single where they can find it, your Instagram, your Facebook, everything else. Make sure you just give the people that real quick.
So my single is available everywhere music is sold. Fresh Fire. I also have another single called He Can Do It, which is exclusively on Bandcamp. You can check the link in my bio on Instagram and everywhere for that.
What's the Instagram tag?
The Instagram is at Pastor Tre _. Everything's the same. I'm on TikTok too. I'm on all that stuff. It's all Pastor Tre.
All things.
Yes. Oh yeah. The website too.
Oh, PastorTre.com.
www.pastortre.com. That's where my booking goes and everything goes like that. Also, our church is at 635 West Turner Street, Allentown, Pennsylvania. We have service every Sunday at 12 p.m. and every Thursday at 7 p.m. So if you're in that area, anyone in the Lehigh Valley area, in the surrounding areas, come and see us. We're serving the Lord here. We want you to come and worship with us.
That's a fact. Wait a minute.
The church Instagram.
Instagram.
It's Full Effect Allentown.
Yes.
Because we are on social media, so all things Full Effect. Full Effect Church is on Facebook. That's where we stream live. But definitely on TikTok.
Don't you have a glasses line?
I was just about to say that. You forgot the plug.
I was just finishing the church.
Oh, I'm
video.
sorry.
That's
I
true.
thought you forgot.
That's true.
She
I
got a
do.
glasses line.
I wear glasses. Thank you.
Glasses line. Tell us where
Yes.
you get the glasses from. Take them on. Put it out there.
My eyeglass line is Izella by Chrissy,
Okay.
which is exclusively at Black Eye Optical online, so blackeyeoptical.com. But you can get all that. That link is in my bio on Instagram at Lady Kris Mcinnis, and that's Chris with a K, K-R-I-S. So
I want to thank Pastor Tre and Lady Kris for coming by. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, sis. She's about to put her hand up for a 5.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, she ain't.
Yes,
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm down too. But thank them again. We appreciate. Thank y'all for watching the Lifeline podcast. Till next time, folks. Have a blessed one.